All right, so now I'm going to be showing you how to create a magic ring, which is of course going to be the beginning of any amigurumi project that you're doing, especially for these patterns. You're going to need a magic ring at the beginning of each of them. So in order to create a magic ring, you're going to first make a slip knot, insert your hook, and tighten it. So what I'm going to show you right now is a little bit of a simplified version of a magic ring. I've seen one other method before that is just a little bit harder to kind of wrap your mind around. So I think this is going to be the easiest way to learn as a beginner to make a magic ring. So the way that you start is by chaining 4. So you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you are going to go to the original chain down at the bottom, and you're going to work just into the top strand of that chain. So if you can see, normally you'd work your hook right into the center here, but instead you're just going to be grabbing that one strand right at the top. So you're going to have your original loop on your hook and then that one little strand from the top of that original chain. So now once you've done that, you're going to yarn over and pull through that original strand, and then without yarning over, pull through the loop on your hook. So now you've got kind of this confusing to look at little cluster of yarn, but if you pull it apart a little bit, you're going to see that there is a hole right in the center, right here. And that's where you're going to be working your stitches into. It can be really confusing to look at first, but once you start working your stitches in, it'll make a lot more sense. So now that we have our magic ring, you're just going to find the center here, insert your hook, and then for right now, we're just going to do single crochets into the center of our magic ring. So you're just going to do a single crochet as normal, and then you'll see that it forms that same V, just now on the outside of your magic circle instead of on your chains. So traditionally you're going to have 6 or 8 single crochets worked into your magic ring at the beginning of any given amigurumi project. Not every single one, but typically you're going to have either 6 or 8 and then you'll increase from there. So you are just going to place 6 single crochets into this magic ring just to get a little bit of practice. Now you don't want them to be too tight, because with magic rings that can kind of happen and then you're not going to be able to pull it as tight as you want to. So now you'll see we have those 6 single crochets that you can see from the top, kind of looks like a little Christmas wreath. And then you're going to take this little tail here, this excess, and you're going to pull on it and tighten that hole so that no stuffing can make it out of the bottom. And this will appear tighter as you kind of add stitches around, but for right now you're just going to keep that taut, and then we're kind of going to worry about that later and just drop it down. Eventually you will learn how to incorporate this tail into your work so that you don't have to sew it in later, but it's just kind of a distraction for right now. So this is what your magic ring is going to look like with 6 single crochets placed in it. And that is how you start your amigurumi projects.